All right, guys, Sungold was nice enough to send us an all-in-one charger inverter system. It has everything to run the off-grid cabin and take in the solar panels. It could take in AC input from the grid or from a generator, and it could output power, AC power to our cabin. Check out how nice this thing looks. Show it to him, Vanna.
It's huge. I can't pick it up.
Look at that. Pretty nice, huh, guys?
Very nice, guys. It's pretty exciting. All this stuff aligned. We were very blessed.
And I was honestly amazed by how affordable this stuff is now, because I hadn't really looked at solar stuff in a few years, and 3 years ago all this stuff was double or triple the price. So I'm really happy that the solar world is becoming more affordable for everybody. And Sungold seems to have some really good products. A couple other channels that we talk to regularly use Sungold and enjoy their products and trust in them. So this has a manual switch for on and off. You put your PV wires here, your battery positive and negative here. We have some data ports and communication ports. This is for if you want to run multiple of these units together. And then this is for communication to the batteries. And this is for Wi-Fi, I believe. It says Wi-Fi, so we could communicate and see it on the app directly. And then we have our AC out, which will go to our cabin, and then our AC in if you were to be grid tied. We don't have the grid here, so what we're going to use this for is charging our batteries with the generator when we have those long streaks in the winter.
I think last year we went like 3 weeks straight with like 2 hours of sunshine.
Yeah,
it was pretty rough. So
it does get pretty gloomy around here for 2 to 3 months of the year. Sometimes we're a little more fortunate, but that's just weather in general. So it's very nice looking.
Ready to go?
Ready to go. Ooh! Measurements were right.
Look at that. Look how fancy. Look how fancy.
Pretty nice. Pretty sweet. All right, guys, so I think there's just a couple screws here to access this terminal area where all the couple down here too.
There you
go. All right. This stuff makes this stuff so easy now. All right, guys. Right now we have the batteries connected to the inverter. I'll show everything to you. So we hung the inverter. All the communication cables are hooked up. All the cables are going to our bus bars over here. I didn't show you a ton of this because it's kind of tedious. All the negatives go to one bus bar, all the positives go to one bus bar. So we'll hook up all the AC tomorrow and the PV voltage tomorrow. We'll hopefully be done. All right, guys, good morning. Day 3 of solar upgrades. I just got done switching all of my solar panels from series parallel. The top 5 have been in series and the bottom 5 have been in series for the last 3 to 4 years. All I had to do was unplug the top string and plug it into the bottom panels and kind of swap the positive and negatives all the way along the bottom. So now I have 10 panels all in series and a positive and negative, female and male. So this is our positive here and our negative there. And these are the wires that go to the solar shed from this array. They're unplugged, run in here. I'm going to hook these up to a breaker or disconnect. Nice and snug. Nice and snug. All right, stationary array comes down here, positive and negative, down through here, into the new inverter. So we hooked up our PV input. All our battery connections are good. We have wires coming over here, our ground, load, and neutral going up into here. And they feed through the transfer switch and then into the wires here, go to the cabin. Line 1, again, we're not using split phase, so line 2 is empty, neutral, ground. So kind of moment of truth here. Power on. We're showing 53 volts, 120 volts coming out of the inverter. So let's turn the PV on so we can charge our batteries. And now we're getting 190, 150, and it's flashing back and forth because there's 2 charge controllers in there. One of them 0 volts because I don't have the right breaker to try to hook up the other array, but 150 volts, and it's charging our battery. Blinking charge, AC inverter's on, charging. It's at 53 volts. The battery is, it shows about 50-60%, which all of these batteries are blinking number 2, which is 50% state of charge. You can send charging to the batteries without the communication set up properly, and the BMSs in the battery should protect it from overcharging. It says these batteries in the manual can go up to 56 volts. So we're rocking and rolling now. As you guys know, it takes me a while to figure this stuff out. I'm not sure if the communication stuff is set properly. I have the inverter set to LifePO4 battery. There's 3 different settings. I think we have it on the right setting of LifePO4. It's a higher voltage setting. So it's charging now. And what it's showing on the inverter is similar to what the Ruxu battery indicator lights are, 50% capacity, and the inverter says 50% capacity as well. So it's charging. I flipped on the PV breaker, the one that I just showed you. So we have 150 volts coming in from our array, our stationary array. I don't have the right breaker to set up our second array, and I don't know if the voltage is high enough on that anyway to work. But so we're getting charging. I'm not sure if it's communicating well.
Kind of exciting. Super exciting. Good job.
We're running on Sungold Power.
Pretty exciting.
All right, guys, exciting stuff. We have the new solar setup, rocking and rolling. I have not called anybody and dealt with any or asked any questions about the battery bank and the Sungold communicating correctly. I believe without the proper communication, it's going to charge and do things just fine because the BMSs and the batteries protect it. And the voltages are regulated in the all-in-one system from Sungold too. We have the 8kW inverter from them. We're only going to use about 3 kilowatts of that 8 kilowatts, but it's split phase. If we ever need 240 volt for anything here at the cabin, we can use that. Right now we're just using it as single phase. We're only running 120 volts through here. We're not running 240 volts because we don't need 240 volts yet. I set up the app on my phone to communicate with the logger, and this is tied into Jen's Wi-Fi, her hotspot from her cellular service, and it's communicating with my phone. It took a day for it to give me any information because I needed to build up some information. Like when I first logged in and stuff, there wasn't really anything to show me. Well, I just logged on to it today. It's been a day and a half or 2 days, I think, and it has given me the last couple days of all my stats. I have a little screenshot on my phone, some recordings. I'll put it over here. We're producing close to 2,000 watts out of our 2,800 watts that we have set up here right now. That's with 2 different arrays. The 8kW all-in-one system from Sungold will take two. It has two MPPT charge controllers in it, so it could take two separate arrays. That way you could pump, I think, 11,000 watts into this unit. That's insane. And it has the tolerances to go from 120 volts up to 500 volts of PV power. That was the only challenge I had, is my systems were so small before and they were wired to work on low voltage, because that stuff is typically less expensive and that's older stuff that I was working with. Well, I had to run all my panels in series rather than dropping the voltage down. I had to force the voltage up, which is the only thing, you know, you're going to want bigger panels to work with a system like the Sungold 8kW system. It's all in one. It's a charge inverter. It charges with AC if we were to hook the generator to it. We haven't done that yet, so we'll give you an update on how to do that in another video. But the PV, the two arrays, is just pumping juice into these batteries like crazy. I think yesterday we only used 1 kilowatt of power, but we produced 7, like 6.92 or something like that, or 7, something insane, like 7 times the power. So I'm interested to see what this will do as far as charging on a cloudy day. We've had some fantastic September weather here. It's been 85 every day this week and bluebird skies. Like, I'm ready for fall. Like, fall is coming. We're in a little bit of a drought here, but I'm interested to see what this does in the fall or on a cloudy day now. Thank you, Sungold, for sending us this unit and letting us try it out and show it to you guys so you can all know what's out there. And again, I've been trying to express this over the last couple months of videos when we've done solar and off-grid oriented videos that aren't just us building stuff. The prices on these units and the batteries and all the solar technology is half to a third of what it was 4 years ago. So this whole system cost us just a little bit more retail price than our 4-year-old system that was greatly outdated. Like, in theory, it worked. It did what we needed it to do, but it was outdated, and you know, the longevity of those batteries wasn't there, whereas this whole system should take care of us for a decade or two. Good stuff. So please, guys, check out the links in the description box below in the first pinned comment for this Sungold 8K inverter. It's really impressive. I'm really impressed with it. So thank you, Sungold, for sending us this unit. Check it out, guys, again in the description box in the first pinned comment. And thanks for hanging out with us during this video, and look for updates on this. We're going to do like 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, over the winter stuff updates. So you'll see lots of solar stuff. You get to see how these lithium batteries and this unit does out here in the solar shed over the winter. So if you're new here, subscribe so you can track this on a real life experience, okay? All right, best wishes, everybody.